Hello everyone! Welcome back to Red Doe Reads. Today we have r/Am I the Butthole? If you want me to cover some specific subreddit in the next video, leave it in the comments. Am I the butthole because I didn't tell my date we were going Dutch? I recently went on a date with a guy that ended really oddly, so I need some outside eyes on the whole thing. I, 27 female, went on a date with a friend of a friend, Jake, 31 male. I had suggested coffee, but when he mentioned the restaurant he wanted to go to, I agreed. It is a nice place and I have been meaning to go there. I figured worst case scenario, I would get a chance to check out the food. We actually had a nice time. I ordered drinks, appetizers, my main and dessert. He only had water and his main. He tried a bit of my appetizers but said they weren't his thing. When the bill came, I made sure to tell the waitress that we had separate checks as this was our first date, and I always pay for myself on a first date. I emphasized first because I thought it went well. He seemed like a genuine and pleasant guy. I was looking forward to seeing him again. I heard from my friend Jake thought I was kind of a bot for not telling him I was paying for my own meal. The reason he only had water and the main was because he thought he was going to be paying a bunch of money for my food and drinks. I guess he was upset because he would have liked to order more, but our bill together was over $200. With tape, I paid $145. I can understand why he would be upset, but I don't think that's on me. I always pay for myself on the first date, like I said, unless it's coffee. I cannot be the only woman who pays for themselves, can I? Am I the butthole? No, you're not. And as we can all tell, there will be no second date. And I'm glad, because he seems weird. If you cannot communicate about such small things like, hey, I don't have that much money on me, or okay, you're insecure about sharing that you do not have a lot of money on you, that's all right. You can just ask, hey, just for me to know, just for us to establish this, how are we going to pay? Am I paying for you? Are you paying for me? Are we paying for each other? What's the plan? But he cannot do that. So I guess he will not be able to communicate about bigger things, right? So yeah, no second date for him, girly. Y'all, we got to 200 subscribers! I'm so happy! My goal for July was to get to 250 subscribers, and we are literally just 39 subscribers away from that. Please subscribe. You will make my day. And come back tomorrow, cause I release videos every day. Am I the butthole for telling my mother-in-law she should have tried being a good mom if she wanted the rewards at her son's wedding? My brother-in-law, my husband's younger brother, had me and my husband act as parents of the groom at his wedding. My sister-in-law, their younger sister, and mine and my husband's children rounded out the groom's side at his wedding. My mother-in-law, their mom, her husband, and the children she shares with her husband were there, but they were not counted among the immediate family and were not seated with us at any point. My husband became the father figure to his brother when their father passed away. My husband was 10, his brother was 2. My mother-in-law was pregnant with sister-in-law at the time. My husband became the head of the household. Mother-in-law checked out and she would get angry at my husband for not doing better. The day my husband lost his father, he also lost his mother. She was and continues to be so cold to him. She expected so much of a 10-year-old and criticized him heavily in the years that followed. He was supposed to get amazing grades, keep the house in order, raise his siblings, help his mom out whenever she wanted to, work when he was old enough, and do so without even complaining or turning to her for help. His grades suffered immediately because of all he went through. Until my husband turned 18, he did 99% of the raising of his younger siblings. They bonded with him in a very special way because of this, and I was his friend, then girlfriend at the time, and I helped, so they bonded well with me as well. When my husband was 16, mother-in-law announced she was pregnant and moved in with this guy she married in Vegas. Nobody knew anything beforehand. At that point, her and my husband's relationship worsened. Between brother-in-law and sister-in-law not being bonded with her at all, and her trying to take back over some parenting, but them rejecting her, and my husband not caring to include his half-sibling in the parenting he did, it made for a very big mess. She wished my husband was not alive, she wished she had got rid of him when she was pregnant, and did all this in front of me and his siblings. When he moved out, she did all she could to stop the siblings seeing each other, but brother-in-law and sister-in-law acted out until she gave in. They had a lot of extended sleepovers with us. My husband attempted to win custody of them when we settled enough, but mother-in-law household was financially secure, so he was denied. But it never changed the fact that brother-in-law and sister-in-law wanted us, but mostly him, the brother/father they knew best of all. Mother-in-law and her family were not at mine and my husband's wedding. But as mentioned, she was at brother-in-law wedding because he and sister-in-law maintained some contact. In the 2 weeks since the wedding, I ran into mother-in-law at a grocery store. She confronted me. She complained about how unrewarding the wedding was when she was treated like she is not groom's mom. Said it was my husband's fault. I told her she should have tried being a good mom if she wanted the rewards at her son's weddings. I walked away right after saying this because my husband and I have her blocked everywhere. She cannot reach me, but she has been giving brother-in-law and sister-in-law a hard time over what I said and calling me a pot stirrer. Am I the butthole? I think this one is the easiest, not the butthole. Why have children if you cannot be bothered to take care of them? If you have this new shiny husband, you give up your children, you move away, you have your new beautiful family, and then you're like, well, you do not respect me enough. Oh, go to heck, Karen. Am I the butthole for going to my wife's book club and giving her the kids? I don't know if I was a butt or not, my wife has a book club that meets up every Sunday at her friend's home. It is supposed to be a lunch thing and she always tells me she will be home around 3. Every single time she has been late. The worst was getting home at 7 p.m. They went on a shopping outing. I have talked to her multiple times and I have expressed it is disrespectful. I'm fine watching the kids, 8 and 10. What I am not fine with is her lying to me about what time she will get home. It also just makes my life harder, since she usually doesn't get home in time for me to hang out with my own friends, so I have to cancel. We both work and the kids are in school. I am an active parent. I don't have a scheduled get out of home time like my wife does. So yesterday, I made it very clear that she needs to be home before 4 at the latest because my uncle is in town and we are supposed to grab dinner before he heads back to his home state. Well, she told me she would be at home at 3, and at 3:45 she wasn't home. I drove to her friend's house with the kids. When her friend opens the door, it is around 4:15 now. My wife was there, and I handed off the kids to her. I told her I am going to meet my uncle and didn't answer any calls during dinner. I got home and we got in a huge argument. She thinks I'm a huge butt for humiliating her in front of her friends. I told her this wouldn't have happened if she just came home on time. You know, on Am I the Butthole subreddit, there are usually 3 verdicts. Butthole, not a butthole, and everybody sucks. So I guess this one is everybody sucks. First thing I did not like is when the husband says he was babysitting the kids. No, you're not. You're being parent to them. You're not a babysitter, you're a father. But of course, it's such a weird behavior from OP's wife. She's literally behaving like a teenager who's like, yeah, mommy, I'll be at home at 3. But then, oops, something happened. Oh, it's 7 and I'm home. Well, I'm so sorry. You can ground me. Would I be a butthole for excluding my sister-in-law's kids from coming on our boat? I, 43 male, have 2 kids, both 12 females, with my wife, who is 42. So since it is summer, we've been going on a boat we own for the past few weeks. And last time we offered to take my wife's sister's kids with us. And that was a complete disaster. First, sister-in-law didn't inform me that her kids, 9 and 7, are pretty seasick. And they threw up on my back, but that was the least of the problems. They kept trying to jump into the water, for some reason completely ignored water skiing instructions, which I explained 6 to 8 times, and almost pushed my daughters off the boat while we were moving as a joke. When we got back, sister-in-law lectures me about how I could let her kids get seasick, which, remember, I wasn't aware of. Lucky for them, my wife carries those white pill things. Then the kids complain I didn't let them do anything, which is untrue, because they gave water skiing a try and they hated it. So then they did tubing, which they liked. That resulted in another telling off from my sister-in-law. I'm planning on going again this weekend, and I'm planning on taking my own sister's kids, my sister and her husband, and my wife's way older niece of another sibling, who is 20. Would I be a butthole? My wife thinks that it is kind of mean, even though I really don't want to deal with that again. Well, I guess if your wife thinks it's kinda mean, she can either talk to your sister or take them on the boat alone, or go somewhere else. Because your boat, your rules. Why do you have to be nice to your sister-in-law, taking care of them for a day, giving her a break, entertaining them, and all you get in return is berating? Ugh, she can take care of her own kids if she's like that, right? Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. You can also watch this awesome video or that awesome playlist. See you next time!